Alright, gamers, I'm back. It's been a minute. I didn't really have a whole lot to talk about. But today I have something to talk about because I'm really fucking annoyed. I'm pissed off and things are happening. So, as you might know, there's this podcast called The Lunchcast, and they talk about Linux sometimes in the most retarded way imaginable. Uh, However, the main guy, Matt, he got himself a Mac, just like I said he would. I said he was gonna get a Mac. I said he's an Apple fanboy. He's gonna get a Mac. It's gonna suck, and he's gonna become the Mac cast, and he did. He did do that. And I was talking to Nate, the other member of the Lunchcast, who has the body mass of a fucking beluga whale. He also said if he could just get off Linux entirely and just use a Mac for editing, that would be what he would do. So there you go. The Lunchcast is basically Apple fanboys at heart, and if you've been watching Matt's channel for any somewhat length of time, actually this would be closer to the beginning of this channel, really. He talked a lot about how he used to love Apple, and he always wanted the trash can Mac Pro, but he could never afford it because he's a broke boy, you know, all that cool stuff. So he wants a Mac. He wants to be an Apple guy, and this kind of reminded me of a video by Kent. I don't even know what the fuck his name is. I don't watch his channel. Uh, you'd probably see him from Kent's Tech World or some shit. Anyways, he's some like fart sniffing German, but he's a troll. You know, he makes clickbait videos and he just trolls. That's what he does. But he made one video saying that Linux users are really just poor Mac users. And once they get enough money, they'll move to Mac. And although he was trolling, I do see the sentiment in Linux users where they desperately want to be Mac users, but they just can't afford it, or it doesn't run on free software or whatever the fuck their problem is. Because I've seen a growing number of people getting into Hackintoshing. Now, this is a really fucking bad time to get into Hackintoshing because next year Apple is going to drop x64 support. So you'll be stuck on whatever version of macOS that is with whatever applications choose to support Intel. Which, when I had a Mac, my dad gave me his old 2014 MacBook Pro, which I put OpenCore Legacy Patcher on. And the first thing I tried to install was a Matrix client, and macOS doesn't really have any good Matrix clients. So I found one, I downloaded it, and it said this is only available for Apple Silicon. And this was back in fucking 2023 or some shit, 2022 maybe even. So I saw the writing on the wall that Intel was being phased out, and if I wanted to be on the bleeding edge of development, I was gonna have to get a M1, Apple Silicon to do anything. And I said, fuck that. I don't want Apple Silicon. I don't want to buy a MacBook. I don't want any of this shit. macOS doesn't fucking do anything I want it to do. Like, sure, it can run some programs. That's about it. That's about all it can do for me. It can run some programs. But I hate the desktop. I hate the interface. I hate the App Store. I hate how they update. I hate Apple accounts. I hate everything about Apple. I never want to use it. I don't want it anywhere fucking near my system. You know what I mean? I do not want to daily drive Apple. So Hackintoshing makes the least amount of sense for me. I would actually, like, if I had to choose between macOS or Windows, I would just go back to Windows. Seriously. Like, it just makes more sense. Windows is supported on all of my computers. Even the ones that are too old, I could fucking install Windows 10 on them. Who gives a shit? Mac OS, it's a fucking, like, what the fuck, Like, I can't guarantee Mac OS will install on fucking anything. So, I find this community of Hackintoshers not my favorite community because they have the wrong idea, especially coming from a Linux, user group or whatever, is they don't care about freedom. They don't care about the software that runs on their computer as long as um, they get to like tinker with it, you know. They're fine with Mac OS because why the fuck wouldn't you be? It fucking spies on you. It is a proprietary lockdown piece of shit. Perfect for a Linux user. It's everything we love in Linux, you know? And so that's another community where, especially with like PC gamers, you know, Mac users are, or rather, Hackintoshers are another community that I really can't stand, and I am actually probably going to celebrate when Apple fully drops x64 and they are forced to return to a real operating system. You know what I mean? So we're quickly reaching that point. I only have to deal with a few more stories of people trying out Hackintoshing before it fucking goes the way of the dodo, and that'll be the greatest day. Because then it'll either be Linux or Windows, and that'll be a much clearer choice. Because for some reason, people act like Mac OS is like some god's gift to man. Like Tim Cook isn't fucking loading up with bloat and all this like advertisements and all this other shit. I've seen that shit. I use Mac OS, you know. I've seen what it puts on your fucking desktop. I've seen its fucking newsfeed. I've seen its widgets and all this other bullshit it does. I've seen what Safari does. I've seen its default search engine. I don't want to be part of the botnet. You know what I mean? I don't want to be part of that shit. I don't want anything to do with it. So, but I'm not really here to convince you not to use Mac OS. You know, I do see more and more people that say, "Oh yeah, you know, I love Linux, but I totally buy a Mac Mini or a M2 MacBook Air or whatever the fuck, so I can run AI models on my fucking computer," as if that fucking mattered. Because why the fuck do you need a local model anyways? Like seriously, you know what I mean? I can run a fucking local model on my desktop. Like, isn't that hard? But they're fucking gimped because they don't have access to the internet, so I can't get them to fucking do anything. But we're at this point where, I mean, seriously, I'm sick of it. I really am. Linux users that proclaim to love freedom and they love how their computer is not spying on them and all this other shit. It's all lies. It's all fucking lies, man. These people don't give a shit. They don't care. People say I don't care. Like, fuck you. I do care. I do care to an extent that my computer is fucking spying on me. That is something I give a shit about. I care about the operating system on my computer. I care if it's proprietary or open source. I do actually care about these things. You know what I mean? I'm not fucking running Trisquel. I'm not running fucking Geeks. You know, I don't have that kind of hardware, but barely anybody does, and I can't fucking afford it. Same reason I don't have a fucking Mac. I can't afford a Mac. No, I'm kidding. Even if I could afford a Mac, I would just get myself a laptop, you know. But I don't need one right now. So I'm sick of it. I'm really fucking tired of people like worshiping Mac OS, not even realizing what the fuck they're in love with. It's all fucking LARP. The Linux user base is a fucking fraud, I swear to God. So let me know in the fucking comments if you like Mac OS and why you like Mac OS and why you want Tim Apple to suck your fucking dick. Because yeah, we can discuss free software while Tim Cook is like, well, I'm fucking 6 inches deep into his asshole or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, fuck that guy. Fuck Steve Jobs too. Seriously, like, there is a special place in hell where Bill Gates will be burning and where Steve Jobs currently is burning. And when I get down there, I will meet him, the creator of JavaScript, whoever the fuck made Discord, whoever the fuck made Chrome, and I'm going to have a fucking torture chamber where I get to do whatever the fuck I want to them for all eternity, and that will be my entertainment for the rest of fucking like forever. You know what I mean? I'm kidding. There's no possible way that would happen, but you know, a man can dream. So, anyways, yeah, I'm totally sick of Apple. I'm totally sick of their fucking hardware. I'm totally sick of their fucking software. I don't like it. I don't like anything about it. And I'm kind of worried that other people. I mean, obviously, I don't really care what other people think, but these are like close friends of mine, you know, that are starting to talk about wanting to get a Mac for fucking AI or whatever. It's like, dude, you don't need a fucking Mac for this. Like, shut the fuck up, man. You don't need it. You don't need it. Just choose freedom. Choose freedom, please. but nobody listens to me. You know what I mean? No, nobody gives a shit. Nobody cares about fucking freedom. It's all fake. It's all fucking fake. Nobody actually cares about this shit. So yeah, that's my little depressing rant of the day. Is I meet so many people, and oh yeah, a little side tangent because I want to talk about this too. Fucking, I was talking to some people about Lewis Rossman, and here's something to think about. Like, this is a little bonus side fucking content here. If you have 2 million subscribers, that means at least 2 million people know who you are. Now, the Earth has fucking 8 billion people on it right now. Even if we're talking about like just this fucking country, there are 300 million people in America. That means one in fucking, what the fuck is 300 divided by 2? Is holy shit, I can't do math. Oh my god. I am fucking outing myself as a math mental midget. Holy shit. No, I can do this. 300 to 1 5 0 150. Holy shit, that took me too long. I am too reliant on my fucking smartphone these days. Anyways, yeah, that means one fucking 1/50th of the country knows your fucking name. So that means if you go out and meet 150 people, maybe one of them knows who Lewis Russman is. Do not tell me somebody is fucking famous when you live in a fucking echo chamber. Because what happens is, if you're on Discord, you're probably in a very small Discord. You know what I mean? If you spread out and go to big Discords, even in the tech space, you know what I mean? You will start running into people that A, don't know what Linux is, B, don't know who your favorite celebrity is, C, don't keep up with the news of anything. So the way how I proved this was I started asking around and looking around for people asking about the Clippy profile picture thing. And what people would say is, I've never heard of this. Why are people changing their name to or their profile picture to Clippy? And somebody would say, "Oh, Lewis Rossman put out a video," and they'd say, "Who's Lewis Rossman?" Well, yeah, and this is in the Linux space, so like, there's a lot of people who I want to say and people have argued against this with me, but I kind of stand by it. Is there is a flaw in your psyche, like in your mind, I guess it's like part of human condition or something, where the things you may think that they are common knowledge, and yet they are not. It's usually what people say about common sense. If common sense was common, everybody would have it, but people fail at it every day. So, same thing with this. Like, just because you know who somebody is does not mean everybody knows who somebody is. You know what I mean? So, uh, and there was a philosopher at one point, or a scientist or something, and he said, it would we would have a lot better discussion if we started adding a question mark on things that we think we know. You know what I mean? So I will leave you with that. Is if you're interested in that, I'm suspecting every single one of my subscribers probably knows who Lewis Russman is because I've discussed him at length on this channel. But people outside of this space, the amount of people that know like who PewDiePie is, who Lewis Rossman is, all this other shit, who Level 1 Tex is, who Gamers Nexus is, who Linus Tech Tips is, the list gets smaller and smaller and smaller as you add more criteria to this. And eventually, when you add enough of it up, you get a whole person of just random things that they know, you know? And so the sum of all your knowledge is unique only to you, basically. So bear that in mind. Anyway, sorry for the weird camera or like recording of the desktop. There's some black in here, but I didn't feel like changing it. But anyways, yeah, fuck macOS. See ya.